Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another amazing week for the Weeb Weekly. And if you are looking at us through YouTube or whether you are listening to us via Spotify or whatever other platform you use to consume your podcast, you may know we have somebody in the house. Travis, welcome to the Weeb Weekly officially. How are you doing, man?
Man, it is fantastic to be here. Thank you guys. I'm really excited.
Oh my God, we got a new co-host. Things are looking good. Misu,
I
how are you
know.
feeling?
I am doing fantastic. I can't. It's awesome to see that Travis is on here. He is definitely, if you guys don't know, Travis is amazing. He's been on TikTok for a while. One of the first people I followed on TikTok too. So he is, and he's already experienced in the podcast. The man has a voice for it. So this is going to be really great.
Oh yes. He was already what was it, like 3 weeks ago, 3 4 like episodes ago. You were here. You were talking with us. We
Yeah.
had an amazing time. I had an amazing time talking to you. And now the change has been official. He is our new co-host for the Weeb Weekly. And oh my God, gentlemen, we had an amazing week. Starting with the long-awaited trailer for none other than Moon Knight. Oscar Isaac's starring role in the new I would say the new wave for Marvel's occult series, I guess, like the start of the occult.
Oh, that's good.
Right? Because if you think about it, Moon Knight is obviously a big part of the magical side, the more mystical side of Marvel. When you take into account the Midnight Suns, he's fighting a werewolf in the damn trailer. So I wanted to get first your first opinions, and then we can deep dive into everything that we loved about the trailer, what we're thinking about the series. Travis, what did you think about Moon Knight, the trailer?
Oh man, immediately I was gripped by how dark and gritty it looks. It looks like, especially with Oscar Isaac, his acting is phenomenal. So I feel like this is definitely going to be a banger. I love the approach that they're doing with this because the way that they're handling his schizophrenic personality, that was really interesting. I mean, from the reflections, like not moving when he is, and other things that they sprinkled in the trailer, I find it incredible. I'm extremely excited for it.
Oh, dude, I agree. Mizu, what about you?
I actually said a couple pods ago about how Moon Knight's one of the shows I'm looking forward to because I don't know a lot about him.
Mm-hmm.
And I hear a lot of people talk about him. He's one of those underground, underrated street heroes that a lot of people like. And I just never understood the hype behind him. Everybody keep hyping him up, and I'm like, okay. And then I heard they're making a show about him, and now I'm definitely interested. And the way that trailer looked, yeah, I definitely agree with Travis. They showed off the schizophrenia, they showed off the multiple personalities, the way he responded to like the phone calls. So why'd you call me Mark? And I love how they brought that up. I love how they're doing that. And I'm interested in how they're going to show off. Are they going to actually give Moon Knight powers? Because what I've been told, or what my knowledge of Moon Knight so far, is that he technically does not have powers, but he is blessed by the Moon God, but he doesn't actually have powers.
Okay, I think it's time we do the deep dive because we got to talk about the elephant in the room, which is Mark and his powers, right? So from what I've seen, they're deviating just a little bit from the comics, at least right now. For example, as you can see, he has a British accent, right? Moon Knight is from Chicago originally, so like it's kind of weird. I think they're going for London as being the hub of the mystical occult side because we have the Black Knight, we have Blade already in London.
True. That is very true.
This would put Moon Knight in London. So like everything is like kind of converging in the UK to of the occult side, which makes a lot of sense. But essentially, as we saw in the trailer, Mark is resurrected. Let's say, because like he in the comics, he's left for dead in an expedition. He's a mercenary, right? So in case you don't know who Moon Knight is, he's a mercenary that goes on an expedition with a really shady employer. And once the employer shows his true colors, he is left for dead in the sands of Egypt, right? And as he's about to die, Khonshu, the god of the Egyptian god of the moon. So we get our official introduction to the Egyptian gods within the MCU, which is great because we're adding all of that elements in Thor: Love and Thunder as well with the Greek gods. the idea is that Khonshu says, okay, you are going to be the living embodiment of myself on Earth. You're gonna take care of my business on Earth, and I will give you my blessing, my powers, etc. So technically, he doesn't have superpowers like level of Hulk, but for example, his power increases depending on the what's it called, the stages of the moon, or like the whatever.
Bases.
Yeah, the bases of the moon. So like for example, on a full moon, he can lift multiple tons. Like at least in the comics, like he can lift like
Oh, okay.
solid like steel, like those steel doors. Like you know how in the golden age of comics, like like lifting big like
Right.
tanks and whatever was like big. So he's lifted like what's it called, bank vault doors with just his hands. So that's a couple
Oh,
tons.
okay.
That's a
Oh,
couple
wow.
tons based on his. So it's not like super strength, but definitely enhanced reflexes, kind of like Daredevil on steroids. If you catch my drift. So that's his base, but it was actually pretty cool to see him fight the werewolf, because he was first seen, or the first few issues, in Werewolf by Night. So he is known for fighting occult characters. He's met Dracula. Like there's lots of stuff within Moon Knight that makes a lot of sense. But what I've seen on the internet, and I don't know if you guys feel like this, is that he's like the more efficient Batman, because he has the kill rule, which is like essentially, bad guy would be a bad guy forever. I don't think there's any way to rehabilitate him. Let's put him 6 feet under. So that's exactly what he does. So what do you guys think about the backstory so far and how it like reflects on the trailer?
Honestly, that sounds interesting. But now my question is, where does the multiple personalities come in? What does that play a role in it?
So Mark has DID. It's dissociative identity disorder. He has 4 personalities. One of them is Mark, who is like, Mark is the base, like the one that we see scared. That's Mark. He's the base. Moon Knight is the other part of the 4, and then we have Stephen Grant, which is Bruce. Think about him like Bruce Wayne. He used his mercenary money to invest it and become like a socialite, because he basically figured, oh, the most amount of crime is usually committed by the people with the most amount of money. So I might as well get in the room to try to flush out the crimes.
Okay.
So Stephen Grant is the moneymaker, and then he develops a 4th one, which we haven't seen, which is Jake Lockley, which is a New York taxi driver. Because he develops contacts on the ground by being a taxi driver for like, I mean, more than shady personalities, right? So you get the rich guy, the taxi driver, the mercenary, and Moon Knight. So every single thing that we see is an unreliable narrator. Like everything that he says at all times is unreliable. Because like that could be him saying like, "Oh my God, my like, I hear the voices in my head," and that could just be Steven being like, "Bro, just get your shit together. We have a meeting in like 50 minutes with the head of ExxonMobil," or something like that. Like this is ridiculous.
That's dope.
Mm-hmm. So we have multiple personalities. It looks like it's going to be very violent. I don't know if they've edited down the bloody aspect or something like that. But people have been saying that there's multiple scenes in the show that seem edited, because there's definitely going to be like blood in this, and going to be like way more violent than usual. Do you guys get the feeling that this could be like the start of a darker side to Marvel, or are you guys just like, it's another show?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely a darker side to Marvel. And I'm really happy about that. I've always felt like Marvel has flirted with darkness, and this looks like it's going to be a real dive into it. They're tackling mental health. They're tackling this kind of mental condition. So I feel like through this and how the trailer has portrayed it, yeah. I really think they're going to nail it. I think they're definitely going to nail it. We're going to get. I think Morbius is going to be dark. I think that the other Marvel stuff coming down the pipes is going to be really more on this new phase is going to be really dark. So I can't wait.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree. I'm hoping, I'm low-key been wanting Marvel to go down this route, because let's be honest, even though I won't say that Marvel hasn't gone dark before, even involving the comics, but it just feels like DC does it the most, and they're willing to go down that route to be like, okay, we're gonna get gritty, we're gonna get serious, we're gonna talk about very serious things. While Marvel, like how Travis just said, just likes to flirt with it, and of course the MCU. And I get that they're trying to make it appropriate for everybody and profitable, but sometimes it's just like you can't limit art, man. You can't limit the real stuff.
Yeah.
Which is one of the reasons why I was actually skeptical about this show, even when they got the rights to Deadpool, because looking at it, I had a feeling they're gonna be like, okay, they're gonna probably make this PG-13, and especially like Moon Knight and Deadpool. Moon Knight, when I've seen, almost every other panel, when I look up, when you take the time out of your day to look up Moon Knight in Google Images, half the time this man is bloody and broken.
Wow.
So I'm like, and I'm sitting here like, is Disney Plus going to actually do it? Are they actually gonna be bold enough to be like, you know what? Yeah, let's do it. Or are they gonna skirt around it and be like, oh, we're gonna do some stuff, but we're not gonna push it too far because PG-13, guys.
I feel that.
I hope not.
I feel that, and I feel like, and I agree. I echo both of your points. It's definitely the start of something new, especially with these darker characters. And I think this goes even beyond Moon Knight itself, because I don't know if you guys have seen on Twitter the leaks and the reports. There's a big push, or at least an inclination that Marvel is trying to push Multiverse of Madness to get an R rating, because it's
Let's go.
We already know by a fact that Sam Raimi directed this as if it were a horror movie. So this is gonna be like Wanda's gonna go full tilt. Like, it's not gonna be pretty. People are going to People are gonna go straight to the Shadow Realm. There's been rumors that Tobey Maguire might show up, and that leads me to believe, okay, if Tobey shows up, I don't think Sony's gonna keep him as a spy. I mean, if they keep him as Spider-Man moving forward, it could be very probable that if Spider-Man shows up, they could try to kill him for an emotional effect on the viewer and to raise the stakes and stuff like that. It's completely possible. We don't know anything that Marvel has in store for us in terms of plot twists and possible shock value, right? But I agree, man. Moon Knight is a very raw, I would say, version of the Caped Crusader. I would say. I mean, he throws moon-shaped discs and brands people, just like Ben Affleck did in the original Justice League. It's ridiculous.
What?
Yeah,
what?
It's crazy. He brands people with the moon on their forehead, and I'm like, hey, no, this is straight up Inglourious Bastard shit. This is crazy.
That's amazing.
So the show comes out March 30th, and unfortunately, I think we would be remiss if we didn't cover this, but one of the main actors from the show, Gaspard Ulliel, he was a really talented actor from France. He played Hannibal Lecter in Hannibal Rising. He was my pick to play Gambit in the MCU. He's that good, and he looks the part. He unfortunately has passed away in a ski accident in the French Alps. So we still don't know. We still don't have an official word from Marvel in terms of recasting him for the future, because he's playing Midnight Man within the show. But hey, may he forever rest in peace, and hopefully they do him justice, right, by elevating the show to where it needs to be. With that said, do you guys have any other thoughts on Moon Knight itself, or should we get into the anime-centric section?
I do.
Okay, Matt, go.
Very similar to Mitsu Shogun, I was unfamiliar with the backstory in depth. I knew that he was schizophrenic and that he had DAD. I didn't know that he was, first of all, out there branding people with the moon. Amazing. But I also didn't know that he's pretty much a more effective Batman. And the way that you described him, that's how I always wanted Batman to be. The very thing that bothered me the most about Batman was that he didn't kill the Joker. And it never felt like he didn't kill the Joker really because of a moral high ground, but it was because he wanted to safeguard his own sanity. And he attached his sanity to the life of the Joker. And the Joker then became how his morality was set up. If he ever goes that distance with the Joker, then he has no morality. He'll do it to everybody. but that caused Gotham to suffer. So the fact that Moon Knight can just kill people, he's like, nah, you're bad. I'm even more excited to see this character be played out.
Yo, facts. And I definitely agree with that. I think the thing that got me excited is because I read like a little short comic book, someone on TikTok was explaining like one of the Moon Knight comic book issues. And it got me hyped because pretty much in the comic book issue, this little girl got kidnapped by this group of this gang. And this gang was in this building. It was like a 5-story building. And Moon Knight came in to go save her. And by each floor, he's just whooping these guys' ass, just beating them. One of them tried to hit him with a bat. He grabs the bat, beats him, uses the bat throughout the remainder of the floor, beating them senseless. And he finally gets to the floor where the girl is on, and the guy has a gun to the girl's head. He's just like, you don't want to get involved in this. If you get any closer, I'm going to kill her. And then Moon Knight was just like, oh yeah, I know you'll kill her. But the question is, what's going to happen to you after you kill her? Because I'm going to be here still. And he's going down the list. Like, this is what I'm going to do to you. This is A, B, C, D, 1, 2, 3. He went down the list. And he scared the man so bad that he handed over his gun to Moon Knight and left. Like, got on the ground, and then Moon Knight got the girl out and left.
Those hands were rated E for everybody, bro.
I just loved I loved it. He said, oh, yeah, I know you would kill the girl, but what's going to happen to you after that? Like, because I'm just still going to be here, and I'm not going to be happy.
Definitely not. By the way, Travis, I just wanted to address the comment you made because I saw a couple videos on the internet this week, and they explain why Batman is the way he is. Have you heard of the contingency plans?
No, I haven't.
So Batman, and there's a really cool depiction of this voiced by Kevin Conroy. So if you can get to it and see like the Kevin Conroy contingency plans. So Batman has a plan to disable or kill everyone in the Justice League, yeah. Right? So the last one that he talks about is himself, right? So there's the only way to get rid of Batman is either to distract him emotionally with either somebody that he loves or his trauma from his parents. But what people have alluded to is the fact that that's not even it. That's not even the surface of it. Batman doesn't kill because it'll lead to him killing the Joker. Like eventually, if he starts to kill, he's eventually going to kill the Joker. And we know exactly what that looks like when he kills the Joker because we've seen the Batman Who Laughs in the Death Metal comic book series. So the Batman Who Laughs is a version of Batman that kills the Joker. Batman kills the Joker, right? And that releases a neurotoxin in Joker's skin that essentially unhinges Batman, right? And he becomes essentially like the Joker, but he's like, imagine the Joker with the intelligence and the scope of badassery that Batman is. He takes over the DC universe in less than 5 days or something like that. It's ridiculous. Like the entire universe. He takes care of, like he kills the entire Justice League, basically becomes the ruler of the DC universe, and then becomes the Darkest Knight when he merges his body with another version of Bruce Wayne that has the body of Dr. Manhattan. So essentially he becomes God. Like, so if Batman kills, it'll be a slippery slope to becoming like a dark side, essentially. Yeah. So that I saw that and I was like, dear Lord, let's keep Batman on a leash and let's let Moon Knight take care of his business with Khonshu, you know? Because like it's way easier to just deal with DID than to deal with like death metal Batman. I would assume, just like my opinion. You know, it's just me.
I agree. I 100%. I did, and you know, I've heard the name Batman Who Laughs, but I didn't know that. I didn't know that's the wow.
The Batman Who Laughs is literally the worst thing you want to see. As a matter of fact, I call him Yu-Gi-Oh! Batman because he has a set of cards that alter reality. So he has Infinity Stones as like tarot cards. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Big yikes.
Big yikes. So with that being said, Mizu, do you have anything else on Moon Knight, or should we continue?
Let's continue.
All right. Well, the next stage in the docket was my personal win of the week. Holy shit, that episode of Demon Slayer. That was absolutely crazy. I am beyond excited. Mizu and I had the pleasure of talking about the latest episode of Demon Slayer last week. This one topped it, in my opinion. First thoughts, gentlemen. Tell me, what do you think of the Entertainment Arc District so far?
You can go first, Travis.
Oh, okay. Oh man. In the beginning, I never read the manga, so I've heard great things about this arc. And in the beginning, I was like, oh, in my opinion, a little slow. But man, this arc overall has been so enjoyable. Just I'm on the edge of my seat. Like when I see Tanjiro getting blood in his eyes, I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. And this arc specifically made me angry at Tanjiro's family because I felt like if Tanjiro just had a little more time, like if he didn't breathe for just a little longer, we wouldn't be even, it would have been over. Like he would have minced
For
it.
real.
But hey, that's just my opinion. And Nezuko, I did not see that coming at all. The vines on her body, and that was absolutely insane. Definitely didn't see that demon would be two people. Like
Yeah.
that, just seeing and he was such a badass. Seeing this man grow out of her, and then just seeing the Hashira seeing this and being like, nah, can't, missing the slice. It's amazing.
What about you, Mizu?
Oh, absolute facts. I was waiting for, because I've read the manga, I made it apparent that I have, and to see her brother like that, and why she became like part of the Upper Moon is because they are a duo. It's not just her. She's just like the face of them, but he is the one with the insane power. The fact that this man can manipulate his blood in a way where he can make sword sides or slashes and manipulate not just the sword, but the slashes themselves and do whatever he wants with them. It's crazy. I like when I first read it too, I got worried for my man over here. I was like, hey, I knew you're Hashira, but let's not forget what happened to Rengoku. And y'all not invincible. So this guy seems crazy. But yeah, I absolutely loved it. Everybody was killing it. I felt like there weren't I'm trying to think. I think one of the things I'm also happy about is that Zenitsu's still asleep. Thank goodness. I do not want him to wake up, because if he wakes up, it's going to be a catastrophe. And great, now there goes our power. One of our powerhouses just gone out the gate. But I freaking loved it.
I agree. This episode was absolutely bonkers. I know some people on the internet were like I mean, the past two episodes have been like leaving us on the cliffhanger, and they don't really give us everything that we want to see. But I'm excited. Like I like getting those bits and pieces of information and story to try to reel us in, because I mean the biggest thing for me is that okay, we saw the extent of Tengen's power, because he beheaded Daki before we even got the chance to react. We didn't even see it on screen. It was just damn, he's that fast that he literally just beheaded her that quickly. So Gyutaro showed his true form, and I felt that it was so grotesque in the best of ways. And when he's jealous of Uzui and he starts scratching at his eyes and his skin, I'm like, damn, this dude is no holds barred demon incarnate, right? So I can definitely see why he's an upper six moon. I was actually worried that I'm like, damn, Daki is strong, but she doesn't seem like upper six moon strong. She's I mean, I felt the train was a little bit more menacing than her, TBH, the Mugen train.
Wow.
I mean, if you the demon that killed Rengoku felt a lot more menacing than I forgot the name of the freaking demon. He's the upper third. I know you're talking about.
Yeah, we know what you're talking
about. So that demon, I'm like, if the difference between him and Daki is only 3, I'm like, damn, that she's not all that, bro. I mean, you could kill her, but she's not. I mean, because if you think about it, Nezuko was putting up a fight. Sorry, Tanjiro was putting up a fight, and Nezuko straight up bodied her with their blood demon art, and I'm like, damn. I know demons don't really compare, but this is a newly formed demon with the first time transforming into a upper level caliber demon, and she literally wiped the floor with Daki. So I'm like, okay, this episode's going crazy. The The biggest thing, I don't know, Mizu, like, is it the same translation with whenever Uzui is referring to like, oh, you should just die an unflashy death because I'm about to go super flashy mode right now. Is that his thing in the manga as well? Just being super like,
Oh yes,
flashy or whatever? Okay.
So the thing I like the most about him is that so before he became a Hashira, he was a ninja, and he did a lot of ninja like stuff. So he's always been secret and all that kind of stuff. And now he's in a profession where I guess he got tired of being secret. Like, no, it's kind of similar to the character. I don't know if you know this, Travis. Black Star from Soul Eater. How he's a ninja and he wants to be a famous ninja, and it kind of defeats the point. Ironic. You can't be a famous ninja. You can't because you're not supposed to be known. And but Tengen is kind of a similar way. Like, oh, I'm done. I'm tired of being put in the shadows. I want to be seen by the world. That's why he wears all that flashy jewelry and all this stuff. And I love how he doesn't really care what people say, even when they were just like the demon was getting very upset and jealous of him, and he's just like confirming, like, yeah, I am pretty handsome. Yeah, I am pretty tall. Like, yeah, I also got 3 wives. And he was just like, and I love the demon just pops like, wait, you got 3 wives? Yeah. And that made him off. Like, dude, why are you pissing him off even more? And I saw this, I saw this meme on Twitter, and it showed the demon and Zenitsu like stomping out Tengen because they're both upset about him being a ladies' man and handsome and all that stuff.
I mean, he's beautiful. He is beautiful. I mean, Uzui's got the eyes. You know, he got me.
The man has a hold over many people right now. Everybody in the mother is trying to be the 4th spouse to him. And I say spouse, I say spouse and not wife because there are many dudes that I know who are just like, hey, I get it. I'm on the list. Put me up there.
I don't know, man. I feel like I actually felt worried for him for a second. Like whenever like that missed attack happened, and I was like, oh, they cut him up. I did not expect that. I mean, this man went up against Daki in like 2 seconds. So I'm definitely excited to see how the next episode come out. I'm getting the feeling, I know I haven't read the manga, and Mizu, you will not spoil this, but I'm saying, I'm getting the feeling that every time we see a Hashira like struggle, and then we see an upper 6th ranked demon, they're gonna die. I feel like that's gonna be like the thing until Tanjiro becomes a Hashira and Zenitsuka becomes a Hashira. I'm like, damn, if they start dying every time they show up, I'm gonna be pressed. I'm just gonna say that.
Here's the thing. I know we sound messed up to say this, but this is why I kind of like why they killed Rengoku, because it takes away. Listen, hear me out. Because it takes away your safety net. Because you're thinking to yourself, oh, there's no way that these characters are going to die. I mean, this is Rengoku. We love Rengoku. But then he dies. And now you're sitting here like, dang.
Game of Thrones.
What about the rest of the Hashira?
Game of Thrones.
That means there's a 50-50 chance that these guys might die. And now you're sitting here like, oh, looking at Tengen, looking at others up there, you're like, oh, could they die too? Is it a possibility? I like that. I like when anime does that, where it's very chaotic, but I like how they take away your safety net of these characters might go either way. This is kind of getting Game of Thrones. I'm sorry.
So what you're saying is that this is half Game of Thrones and half Attack on Titan. That's what you're saying. Like that's the middle ground. Okay, great. So Tommy Yoka's getting clapped for sure. I mean, I'm just gonna say that. He's my boy, and I know for a fact that dude's gonna end up 6 feet under. But okay, what would you rate this episode compared to the other ones that we've seen? Because I personally think the last episode was a little bit better in terms of like the story, like watching the transformation itself happen, watching Tanjiro overcome his physical limits. The little suspenseful, is this the future? Is this the past thing, Mizu, that we discussed with the visions that Daki had, whether it was Tanjiro in the future or whether it was his dad? I'm like, what the fuck is happening? So I personally would give the past episode like an 8.5 or like a 9 out of 10. I would give this one like a 7 or close to an 8 because obviously like I was left with a lot of tension at the end and I wanted a little bit more, but I just wanted to get your opinions on how you compare this to the previous episode that we had.
I would give it an 8. I give it a solid 8. I definitely agree that I did like the previous episode a little bit more because of the build-up with Tanjiro, and we got to see Tanjiro go off the deep end. Granted, we got to see Nezuko, but I'm not gonna lie, it's to me it's kind of expected. I expected Nezuko just to be just a little chaotic. But Tanjiro, Tanjiro is our sweet boy. He's always trying to help people. He feels bad and sympathetic for demons. And to see him not care anymore for like, I don't care who you are. I don't care about your background. You have to die. And him going off like that, it was amazing. So it's a solid 8 for me.
I bet. How about you, Travis?
Oh yeah. Me too. You nailed it. That's exactly how I feel. It was definitely an 8 for me. I definitely love seeing Nezuko fight. I felt like that was awesome. I just feel like the combination of Tanjiro doing a transformation and seeing Nezuko transform at the very end and like doing upper rank demon level regeneration, all of that, like that recipe of tension just wasn't replicated in this latest episode, but it was still great. So I'd give it an 8.
All right, bet. Yeah, I'm really excited to see. I don't know how many episodes are left. I don't know if any of you guys have left an idea of how many are left. Mizu, do you kind of know based off the manga?
Well, we still got a lot of stuff to cover. I won't say it's going to be as long as like My Hero is going to be, but it is definitely, we still have more stuff after this. There's still more stuff to go after. So I think we said this last week about how many seasons realistically, I think somebody in my life said that.
Yeah.
How many seasons realistically do you think that Demon Slayer will go up to? And I say
2 more, right?
I say 4, 5 max, no more than 5. Depending on how they pace it.
Total or more than 2? So like a total of 7, a total of 5?
Total of 5 seasons. Okay. So counting the ones that we have, we're on season 2. Okay. So 3 more seasons of this, and that's a cap on Demon Slayer. Depending on how they pace it.
Okay. Damn. I the thing with Demon Slayer is that I want so much more from it. Like I would watch this forever. And the fact that like the manga's already over kind of like sets like a solid cap of to what we can see. That's why like I think One Piece is so beautiful because it just never ever ends. So it's like,
see, I think, and that's the thing that is the kind of you can say downer about a lot of new gen anime and manga is that they are amazing. They are put together. I would say not a lot of issues and stuff like that compared to longer anime, but because they're short, it leaves you wanting more when they're not going to be coming back. That's how everybody felt about how you're saying with Demon Slayer when it ended in the manga. Same thing with Haikyuu, Attack on Titan, all these upcoming anime and manga, and they just are just pretty more concrete, and they're not as long as older anime like Naruto, One Piece, Bleach, and all that.
Was Naruto still like was like? Do you guys remember if Naruto was running in tangent with the manga at the time when it was
yes.
released? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's kind of like the One Piece situation, but they just actually ended it instead of going forever and ever and ever, which is fine.
But here's the thing, but I'm not mad at it because One Piece, every arc is just getting better and better. The one right now is amazing. I'm just like, and I'm not gonna lie, for the first time ever, I'm actually got scared when Oda, the creator, said that he wants to end it by like 2025. That's his goal. But then again, he said this before. When he said, I'm going to end it, and then he's just like, I'm going to keep going. But he seems serious this time. So I don't know. So we might see One Piece end in 2025. I'm surprised they actually have an end goal here.
Damn, bro. I feel like because I started, Travis, I started it. I'm 7 episodes in, but I'm just like, I'm so overwhelmed. I'm like, bro, there's going to be, I'm going to get hooked. But like, it's not like a series on Netflix that I can just binge in a week or, okay. It's a great transition to Attack on Titan because I watched the entirety of Attack on Titan up to season 4 before the finale in a week. I binged all of it in a week, and it was a great experience. Never doing it again because like there's so many details that I missed that like I'm like, oh right, I remember this vaguely. If I do that with One Piece, I will reach the end of this
Oh
year
my God.
and I will die. I will literally combust in flames from so much Zoro lost memes in my brain. So I don't know how do you feel about these mangas, like the longevity of the manga versus the anime, how it will affect, for example, Demon Slayer.
Um, here's the thing with me. I feel like similarly to you, I started One Piece not too long ago. So right now I'm on episode 78. And when I first started, I was crushed by the weight of the sheer volume of episodes that are out there. And I don't like I personally don't like it when there is so many episodes of an anime, right? Like, here's a great example. I'm a big JoJo's fan. Huge JoJo's fan. There's not that many episodes to JoJo. Like, if you take all the episodes of JoJo and compare them with One Piece, it doesn't even come close. Like, JoJo's is so much smaller than One Piece, but they've been running for the same amount of time, for around 30 years. So I like my anime to be more shorter, condensed. I just feel like that's just my personal taste with it. So when it comes to manga being long, I don't mind a manga being long, but I want my anime to be shorter.
Okay, bet that's a solid way to go for it. And speaking of the ending of mangas and the ending of animes, oh my god, we are in the middle of possibly the most convoluted and complex sibling rivalry / reunion ever with the one and only Attack on Titan. We just got a new episode. It was absolutely bonkers. I was on the edge of my seat, and I want to know, what did you guys think from the first time that you saw the episode?
I got one word. Actually, two words. Actually, no, it's one word, and you can say that. Meme worthy. And I think you know what I'm talking about. There's a specific scene in the show, in that episode, that I knew as soon as they did it, I was like, this is going to be a meme. And lo and behold, it's all over Twitter. But overall, this episode was fantastic. I already like how, again, we're seeing Marley just go guns a-blazing. They're like, no, screw these guys. We need to take them out now. Hit them fast, hit them hard. And we see Aaron. And we were thinking at first, because the previous episode made us think that, oh man, I guess Aaron got caught up. And no, he is showing the full extent of his abilities of the Warhammer Titan at full display. And he's already taken out the Armor Titan, which, like I said in the previous pod, is not difficult. It's not really that of a feat anymore, because the Armor Titan is kind of irrelevant, in my opinion. And then, of course, we see Zeke show up and come in with the save. And the part I'm not gonna lie, I low-key felt bad for Zeke, because, you know, our freaking Aaron is like Titan limping, and he's taking all day, and Zeke's just like, okay, Lauren, like, hurry up, bro. Like, we gotta do our plan. And he's trying to protect them. And then you know, the Marlins come in full guns blazing and shoot Zeke off the wall, and he falls. I'm not gonna lie, it was iconic. And then, but not as iconic as Leanna, after looking at the blimps falling, and Armin, which was so weird they did that face. Armin was just like, oh, we need to go help Aaron. He's trying to save the world. And then Leanna makes this face, this weird looking face at him. And we're just like, and Armin's face is like, did I do something I did? But it was so random, but I absolutely love this episode. It was fantastic.
How about you, Travis?
Yeah, I loved it. And as I really loved it. And as someone who's read the manga for Attack on Titan, I couldn't help but just be extremely excited seeing this, because I just can't wait to see the very next episode. I'm not gonna say anything.
Oh, come on.
But I couldn't even I'm not, but I couldn't even, I could barely focus on this episode, because the moment I saw the very last frames of this episode, I'm like, the reactions to the next episode, like the amount of videos that are going to come out of people losing their mind, I cannot wait for it. Like, it's going to be
See now you can join with this, Travis, because Jose has not read manga. He's only seen the anime, and so you and I, we hold the secrets of what's going to happen.
I don't like this. I don't like
Jose, I can't wait. You're not gonna know what to do.
Okay. I kind of get the feeling. I mean, I'm pretty sure. I mean, we've seen it in the intro. Like the rumbling is going to happen in some way, shape, or form. But I'm like, bro, if Aaron kills his friends with the rumbling, it's gonna be crazy. You know what? You know what my theory is?
Okay.
And I don't want to get confirmed. My theory is based off of that last conversation that Gabi had with Falco. So you know he said that like, I love you, and the reason that I'm saying it right now is because we might turn into a Titan at any moment because of like swallowing the spinal fluid or whatever the hell. So I'm like, bro, okay. If Falco and Gabi, for example, are turned into Titans under the rumbling, will they fight Eren or will they help Eren? And I'm like, okay, this will be very interesting because at this point it also means that what's his face? Armin has to transform as well. And as soon as Armin transforms, voluntarily or not, there's gonna be a freaking nuke in the middle of Paradise. So Mikasa's gonna die, Yelena's gonna die, Connie's gonna die, everybody gonna die because like he's a weapon of mass destruction in a 5'6" blonde boy frame. So I am convinced that something bad is going to happen to Eren because of the rumbling. I don't want any spoilers, but I need to know, does Mikasa make it out alive? That's all I want to know. That's all I want to know.
Hey, do you want the actual answer, or are you saying that just in the air?
I don't want to know. I don't know. I want to know, but at the same time, I want to see it. That's what, dude. I need to start reading the mangas because I can't deal with the stress, man. This is too much stress. Not knowing if Bae is going to survive because of her step bro being like, all right, let's kill everybody and fucking like parrot what's it called, Marley. I'm conflicted. I was excited about the episode to start. Question, actually, because I was seeing a lot of hate for the 3D animation in this episode, and I was like, damn, this actually like felt really good. I mean, the moment where like Eren goes like backwards and like busts his shoulder trying to get Reiner felt really awesome. But a lot of people saying like it was cringy. They hate the 3D animation. What's your take on this new style for Attack on Titans last season?
Like I said, I originally didn't care for it too much, but I didn't hate it. But over time, I kind of got to accepting it, and it kind of grown on me in certain parts of it. I'm like, oh, how they animate it, because I get why sometimes they do 3D animation for certain scenes and stuff like that. So, I didn't think it was that bad in this episode, in my opinion. I didn't think it was that like egregious or anything of that. So I don't know what the criticism is.
Damn, sad news. How about you, Travis?
I think any CGI in anime is just going to get it's going to get a lot of hate, and I'm kind of a part of that camp. I really don't like.
I love how you said that.
I don't like CGI. I see why people were irritated with it. I felt like during that entire tussle, there were moments where they went from 2D to 3D, and the 3D did feel kind of PlayStation 2-ish. Had a PlayStation 2 flavor.
Now why did you say that? Because now I'm low-key agreeing with you a little bit.
It's true, and that's the only reason I'm against CGI when it comes to anime, because usually it comes off in this very cheap way, and there's so few anime that actually incorporate CGI properly, or in a way where at least you can respect it from an artistic value perspective, like, oh, this is just a different art style. It usually comes off in this PlayStation 2 GameCube-ish kind of feel.
Damn, we going that far back?
Yeah, like I have a, I'm wondering if I should even get it. I have a game of X-Men from like 2004, and it looks like that. Like it does. And look, I'm not a hater. I'm me too. You can attest to this. You love what you love. I'm here to support that. But when it comes to the way that they incorporate CGI, the majority of the time, it's just not good. There's sometimes where I agree with it, like Dorohedoro, I feel like they did a good job where you didn't really know sometimes, or even in Gaunt's Zero. Gaunt's Zero had phenomenal CGI, hyper realistic. It killed it.
Beastars, even though people don't want to.
Yeah, I know.
People are up in the air about it, but Beastars is pretty good.
Beastars is good. Ajin Demi-Human, phenomenal. But with this, I didn't care for it.
Oof, that is a big oof. People be all over the place with this damn anime.
Why did you say that? Now I can't unsee it now.
It's true because it's true. I'm freeing you. Me too. I freed you from being denial.
I don't know. I feel like because like okay, the only thing that I can see because another one that did 3D animation was Jujutsu Kaisen, right? So Jujutsu Kaisen had some moments of like small, very small moments, but at least was it the moment when they were fighting the spirit from out of the truck. There was some attack that Itadori did that was full like 3D animated or like they panned 3D.
I think I know what you're talking about.
His cursed move or whatever. They did a full 3D like Matrix style pan on him, and I was like, "Oh, this is actually 3D animated. Like this is pretty cool." And like I feel like when it's used sparingly, it makes sense. But I do agree. I do agree that like switching from 2D to 3D in like one frame with like the Warhammer and then just Eren just going crazy kind of felt like you were watching like a GameCube or like those really old cartoons where like only the foreground would move and the background would just be static. Like the Flintstone or something like that. Like it would just be like a painting in the back and then like, oh, everybody.
No, don't be descriptive because now I'm gonna keep saying it.
It's the Flintstones.
Now every time I look at it, now every time I would look at it, every time I watch it, I'm gonna be like, PlayStation.
This looks like Fred Flintstone, damn it. Yabba 2, baby.
Why? It's out here looking like Crash Bandicoot. Oh my god.
Hey, Crash Bandicoot is goated.
Hey, that is
forever goated.
That's a classic.
Crash Bandicoot is a classic. It is.
Don't be doing that to me. But yeah, the next episode comes out on Sunday. We're recording this on a Friday. So next week we'll get our full reaction to this amazing, supposedly very crazy episode that we're getting. Episode 79. Do we know how many episodes are left? It's like 17,
not to my
knowledge. Like I said to you, I think the last pod that there's still some stuff to cover. So I don't know. I don't think like I said, I don't think they can end this off in 10 episodes like they did in the previous season or not. So it's gonna have to be like 15, 20 around the 20 mark of episodes. Because if they did it in 10, I'm gonna be like, whoa, that's kind of too short. Are you guys gonna cram it all in there? What's gonna happen? Because it's gonna be
They're
crazy.
gonna have to leave. They're gonna have to leave stuff out if it's only a 10.
I've been hearing a theory that some people are speculating to change the ending with the anime instead of what happened in the manga. Because like I was telling you, I can't go into detail because of Jose, but because some people were iffy
super controversial.
Some people were iffy about the ending, and they might do it differently with the anime. But that's just speculation. That's just grapevine. I don't know if that is true or not.
So do you think it would be better to change the anime to avoid the controversial ending?
Oh, great question.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. It's not controversial bad like Game of Thrones. It's not that kind of bad. But it is one of those endings where you are like debating over. It all depends on your perspective, because some people will be like, "Oh yeah, it was pretty solid ending. I was content with it," or some people hated it. Some people are in the middle, like, "Oh, it was good, but it could have been better." I'm in that camp that it was solid, but I was expecting more. There was one thing I hated that I'm not going to say that just really threw me off and kind of low-key pissed me off a little bit. But overall, I wouldn't say it's bad. We're not going to come out here universally like hating it like how people hated Game of Thrones. Like people are so turned off away from Game of Thrones because of how it ended. It's not like that. But it is debatable.
Oh,
It's interesting you say that, Mitsu, because I think some people do feel like it's Game of Thrones bad. I've seen people even rewrite the ending. Like,
oh wow.
Yeah, like there were alternate endings or something floating around. I've seen people actively try to rewrite it. There's been, and look, I'm a part of the camp with this where I felt it was fine. I understood it, but I've seen seething hatred of people on this topic. So if they did change it, I'd understand. I'd understand. But the only question would then be, what would you change it to? Because if you change it, again, without spoiling anything, if you change it from that ending, I feel like either way you go, it's going to be controversial. Because if you try to rewrite an ending, chances are your ending, it might be worse. It might go in a direction where people still don't like it. I don't know. I really don't know what people wanted from this, from how to wrap all of this up, honestly. So I don't know. I really don't know what they should do. And in a way, I feel like they probably should lean toward just going with the manga, just to at least say, hey, we kept authentic to the source material. Like you could hide behind that. But if they kind of promise Neverland it, where they just kind of go on their own thing, that's a gamble.
Yeah, for those who don't know,
that's why people didn't like the original Full Metal, right? The original Full Metal anime.
Exactly. You don't want that, but people still love the original Full Metal. But at the same time, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood's ending was way better.
It was definitely better. I will say that I first saw the original version of it and I liked it a lot. But when I heard there was Brotherhood, of course, I came in skeptical, like, oh, I don't know, is it going to be better? And it was. The ending, everything, added characters, it was so much better than the original.
Okay.
Yeah, no,
I'll take that. I'll take that.
But we gotta see.
No,
yeah.
It's crazy because I've seen some spoilers. Obviously, like when I started watching Attack on Titan, I was like, okay, I gotta research in depth because I knew that I wasn't gonna be able to keep with everything. And I saw what I think is Aaron's final form. Let's just say that. It looks spoiler alert, very Jack Skellington vibes, which I do not appreciate. And I get the feeling that that is going to be at the what's it called, at the it's not it's a very there is a phrase, it's gonna be on the back of Armin, and I think, and that's not gonna be fun for me if he kills Armin just to become Jack Skellington. But if that happens, I will have to say I would like for Aaron to bite the dust because I know that he's not going to do anything fun.
Actually, that's a good question. We should do that. We should next pod, or maybe even now, depending on our time. I would ask. You and I, Travis. We should ask Jose. Who do you think is going to die?
Yes,
who do you think's going to die?
I was thinking that. Yeah. I
and
really
just see what he thinks,
because him asking even about Mika, so I'm like, oh, this is really fascinating to see, like, from his point of view right now. Okay, yeah.
Either. So just to give you my predictions right now, Aaron will die at some point.
Okay, so you say Aaron.
Aaron will die, and I think it'll be either Levi or Mikasa that kills him.
Okay. Okay.
I have that big prediction. The other prediction is that Armin will die because of what I saw. I'm like, okay, bet Jack Skellington has to come from somewhere, unless he just takes the Beast Titan, which means that's my other prediction. Also, Zeke gone forever. Aaron Hernandez. The other one that I don't really know is the rest of the squad. So we have Hanji, we have Connie, we have the dude with the long hair, which I always forget his
John,
freaking name, John.
Jean, John.
Yeah,
It
John.
depends on your pronunciation of the French word.
Yeah, the and the other squad of people that were on the jail. I don't know if they're gonna bite the dust, but I definitely get the feeling that Aaron's not surviving this. He has like what, less than a year left of his 13 years. Yeah, Aaron's gone. I just don't know who's gonna kill him. I would hope for it to be Levi, but I get the feeling that Mikasa might be it. And if Mikasa does send her love to the Shadow Realm, it's gonna be worse than it's not gonna be worse. It's not gonna be worse than Rengoku. It's not gonna be worse than Rengoku. Nope.
Why do you say her love? They literally grew up like siblings. This is wrong.
They love each other.
I'm gonna say it out loud. I do not agree with the Aaron X Mikasa. I don't like it. I think it just doesn't work. Maybe it's just my moral compass. Maybe just the way I was raised. I'm not gonna be with somebody who literally lived together in my house. It wasn't like we were around the neighborhood. It's not like loving basketball. I'm just talking like this. They were literally living together.
Come on, bro. It's not even real.
I don't know. And then in the part I was thinking, I get a lot of flack for that. I'm like, if you're like, oh, what do you mean? Why you don't like it? I'm like, what do you mean I don't like it?
Step brothers.
Good Lord. Like, yeah, exactly. Step brothers, step sis. That's pretty much what it is. Nah. Yeah, y'all can miss me with that. I'm not doing that.
Rule 34 is a dangerous thing, man.
Oh, God.
Lord.
I'll just say that.
Oh,
Rule 34 is dangerous. Rule 34 is dangerous.
No.
But
That's a yikes.
Speaking of yikes, that episode was crazy, but I definitely think that the next episode is going to be bomb. And we will definitely cover every single second of it. Do you guys have anything else for Attack on Titan? Any predictions? Well, you guys know what's gonna happen. Fuck. Like predictions for like the hype. Will it be? Will it live up to expectations? Do you guys think that the ending is living up to expectations so far?
Absolutely. I think, like I said, it's going to be one of those, like, it's going to hit that high. It just all depends on how people react to the ending. It's going to make it's going to make the make or break. If people like it, then it'll be like, a legendary series. Everybody will talk so highly of it. People always talk about highly of it. But if they perceive the ending as bad, then that could break it.
I have a proposal. Like you
said, Attack on Titan is pretty much Game of Thrones. Like, it has great characters, great things, and it's riding high until it hits that bottom. And an ending can ruin an entire series. So it all depends on people's reactions to it.
Travis, what do you think?
Yeah, personally, I think I love how you said it, me too. It's Game of Thrones. It's anime Game of Thrones. It's the writing for Attack on Titan is legendary. I think across all genres of anime, whether you're into shonen, seinen, romance, whatever, you acknowledge where Attack on Titan lands with its value to just anime as a genre, as a culture. And I would have to say that if they keep the anime with the manga, I think it will turn into Game of Thrones in the bad way. I think there's going to be a lot of people who walk away from that ending and they're like, I can't believe that this is what they did with it. That this is what they did with this story. Years of building up to this, and this is what they did. I think it's going to be a lot of fallout. So, but at the same time, I don't want them to Full Metal Alchemist it, where they make a whole new ending and they take a gamble on their writing staff. I think they're just
bad fan service.
Bad fan service, yeah. I don't want it to be bad fan service. I feel like Attack on Titan is in a rock and a hard place, and at this moment right now, I'm just enjoying people theorizing. I'm enjoying how much great press it's getting at this current time. Before it gets to the end, then we're going to be seeing probably a lot of unhappy people.
Oh God, I don't. Why don't do this to me? I suffered enough with Game of Thrones, bro.
But hey, who knows? Because I'm not gonna lie. Like I said earlier, I originally, when I first saw it, I'm not gonna lie to you, I hate it. I was like, this doesn't make sense. This is what is going on. But then I came back to it, and I was just like, all right, okay. Looking back at it, I understand it better now. I'm content. Still don't like a certain part of it, and I'm never gonna change that part. And I think Travis already guessed what I'm talking about. And but that's it. I get it. But so I think it might be one of those where we hate it for a while, but then I think through time we're gonna look back at it and be like, oh, it wasn't maybe that bad. I think maybe we might have overreacted a little bit. Not like Game of Thrones. That's no matter how many time goes by, a decade, 20 years can go by, we'll still be like, no, it wasn't great. But this is debatable. It's kind of like you can say, this one's kind of a hot button one. The Last Jedi. The Last Jedi was notoriously known for being like the most polarizing Star Wars movie. And you got a lot of people hating it. There's some people who still hate it to this day, but there are a lot of people now who are graduating just like, you know what, The Last Jedi, it tried to do something. And I got it. Did I agree with everything in it? No, but I appreciate the parts of it. And I think Attack on Titan might be in that part where for a hot minute, people are going to hate it and then maybe come back to it and be like, oh, there's some parts of it I liked, could have been better. But yeah, that's just my speculation.
Oof. You brought in Star Wars in the best way. You brought in the best and the worst of Star Wars at the same moment. So great transition, because the next topic on the docket is the book of holy shit, this is awesome, Boba Fett. This one was pretty dope. What did you guys think of the episode? Because I, for one, was like kind of teetering, because I appreciate, I'm a big lore guy. So if you expand the lore and give me more context into things that, for example, made no sense before and now they make total sense, like for example how Marvel did with Age of Ultron. So that's what I compare it to, because over the past couple of years, especially with WandaVision and what's it called, and Black Widow, they've given a lot of context to Age of Ultron, because people I think universally would say that Age of Ultron is the worst quote unquote Avengers movie. But with that context, things become clearer and you understand the story more. And that's how I feel about this episode, with all the flashbacks that we got and all of the context that we got into Boba's background. What did you guys think about episode 4?
I remember saying it in our previous our 2 pods ago that I definitely want to see, since we're doing all these like flashbacks about Boba Fett when he was after he escaped from the Sarlacc pit, I wanted to see an episode where he met I've already forgot her name, the assassin that he works with. Fennec Chan. And that's what this episode was. We found out how he met Fennec Chan, how he pretty much helped her. And I liked how they came together because they had a mutual understanding and agreement on what they wanted. Because, of course, you know, Fennec Chan's just like, oh, you bet you want my bounty and stuff like that. And I just love how Boba's just like, you know what, man? I was getting tired of doing this stupid stuff for all these high-end gangster people and they're putting my life on the line because they're too lazy to do it themselves. And I'm just done with that. I'm trying to achieve bigger things. And it's I'm gonna need to establish, I need a crew, but before I do that, I need to get my stuff back. And we got to see a whole little mission of him getting back, you know, the iconic ship Slave One, which was dope, and him trying to get into Jabba the Hutt's palace. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Agreed.
How about you, Travis?
So I will have to say that I didn't get to that episode yet. I'm also, it's fine. It's okay. I'm also like new to Star Wars because the way I even got into it was through the anime crossover that happened.
Visions.
Yeah, Star Wars Visions. And that's when I was like, oh, you know, like I'm trying to get into it. So far, I do like the series. I am getting into it. But no, I'm definitely not caught up yet. But I'm excited to get there.
All right. That's so funny. I would say Jose, he's pretty much the opposite of you, Jose. You're slowly trying to get into the anime grind, the anime sphere, while Travis is on the other side. Yeah, because he's Jose has seen Jujutsu Kaisen. He's up to date with that. You know, say Attack on Titan. He's getting into One Piece. Like, yeah, he's getting into a lot of anime, and we've been trying to get him into that. So it's really cool to see we have another person on the pop who's trying to get into more pop culture stuff. So that's dope.
Because I think I don't know if I explained it full depth when you came the first time, but essentially I mean our viewers have heard it a couple times, but essentially I got into anime when I was very young, but obviously we didn't have very legal ways to see anime, not like now. Not like now we have Crunchyroll and Funimation, all that stuff. I could only watch it when my parents would let me, because they thought that like Dragon Ball Z was the work of the devil. Because think, bro, the first scene that my parents see me enjoying is Cell devouring like Gohan, bro. Like that's I'm watching that and they're like, oh my god, this is demonic, and I'm like, bro, you caught it at the worst moment. Like this, you never saw Goku turn Super Saiyan. You don't know this, bro. So that was me at like 7 years old being like, Mom, don't let me do this. And like sneaking to watch Bleach in Adult Swim. Like I vividly, while I haven't seen Bleach, the first image visibly that I remember is literally Ichigo screaming Bankai at the screen. And I was like, oh shit, this is great. So I've watched across the years multiple snippets and long snippets of obviously the popular anime, but like as I started to grow up, I was like, okay, I'm gonna start into like watching the most popular ones and try to get into it, but at this point I've seen most of the big ones, except unfortunately I have not finished Shippuden, but I've watched Full Metal, all of it, all of Demon Slayer, all of Attack on Titan, I'm all of Dragon Ball Z Super, everything. I'm currently finishing My Hero, and then I'm getting Black Clover, One Piece, and then what's it called? Vinland Saga is the next. I know people are like conflicted with Vinland Saga, but yeah, that's the one I have on my docket. So that was my anime journey. I would say for you starting your anime journey specifically related to this, have you seen the original 3 Star Wars? So 4, 5, and 6.
So I am. Okay, so first of all, I'm so happy about your anime journey, man. That is awesome. You have a great list of anime so far. I'm really excited for this, man. I'm really excited. And on the flip side, I'm extremely new to Star Wars. I think the only Star Wars thing I have seen was the Star Wars with Samuel L. Jackson in it.
Perfect.
Oh, the prequel.
Yeah, I saw a prequel, like one of them, and then Star Wars Visions, and then that's and a little of Boba Fett, and that's like it. Okay, I haven't.
Oh wow!
So I would say, for your sake and trying to get like as engulfed into like the better parts of Star Wars to get really hyped for Boba Fett and catch up. I don't think you have to watch all of it, but it would definitely offer up a lot of context on like the what's it called, the references, the Easter eggs, and also the full picture, right? I would say watch the original 3, so 4, 5, and 6, and I can text this to you afterwards. Like, and I think Mizu would agree. Watch 4, 5, and 6. Watch Revenge of the Sith, which is episode 3. So 3, 4, 5, 6. You don't really need that much context on 1 and 2, at least for Boba Fett. But watch The Mandalorian. The Mandalorian is a show on Netflix as well. This is the spin-off of The Mandalorian. I will go ahead and say that is probably the best piece of live-action Star Wars we've had since the original trilogy. Like,
wow!
It is that The Mandalorian is that good. It's that.
It's funny that you mentioned that, because our list is similar, but I was going to add another one. I would say, yeah, watch the original series. You don't necessarily need to watch 1 and 2, but I think you should just go on YouTube and just give a little summary of 1 and 2. But after that, I would say watch the Clone Wars show.
The Clone Wars 3D
show.
one.
That's 7 seasons though. Like to get catched.
But here's the thing:
if it's good, I'll do it. If it's good, I'll do it.
No, because it's a great show. Because think about it, Star Wars: The Clone Wars, the show, is literally the saving grace of the prequels. If it wasn't for the show, and they just didn't have the show and just went with the movies, a lot of people still have the feeling. People still do have the feelings about the prequels, but that show fills in those gaps. You can think about it. Basically, the Clone Wars it's WandaVision, and 1 through 3, the trilogy, are kind of like Age of Ultron, and they fill in the gaps that make it make sense. Yeah. And I believe it also won awards. Like it's a great show, and it does so much. So I would say watch the show, then watch
Mandalorian.
I would say watch number 3. I'll say episode 3, the movie.
Yeah.
Then the Mandalorian.
Damn, it is a lot, but I would say it is definitely worth it. So 4, 5, and 6, I think, are essential, and I think that'll get you the full picture on what is happening in Boba Fett, because it's so Boba Fett happens 9 years after the last movie. So meaning episode 6.
Oh, okay.
So all that we're seeing, everything that we're seeing at the moment. The Mandalorian, Boba Fett, everything that we're talking about is in that gap between the original trilogy and the sequel trilogy that everybody is so hated. So if you remember, Luke Skywalker in the new trilogy, if you've seen the new trilogy, Luke Skywalker is very old, right, at this point. So all of these stories are happening within those 30 to 40 years that happens between the end of Return of the Jedi and the start of The Force Awakens.
Oh, so it's kind of like a prequel for that.
For the newer.
Okay.
We don't know if they're gonna do like more stories related to that, to Rey and whatever. I think they're mostly focusing on the new trilogy that they have coming up, but that's not been like fully announced. But they've already mentioned that they're working on new trilogies and stuff. Star Wars is not gonna die. And it's because of the television shows. That's what we were talking. I remember one podcast that we did a whole ass section with Nick, saying that Star Wars is better suited for television because you can explore these stories to the point that you won't believe. And I would say honestly, like the Clone Wars for animated series. I know that like there's obviously super stark differences in storytelling style between anime and, like, for example, like Avatar: The Last Airbender or whatever. But like storytelling wise, the Clone Wars offers so much context. Like it's cool because you see the character development that you missed from the movies, because the movies do time skips, right? So in the episode 1, and this is a lot of information, but just to like cut it out short, like the first movie, right? Meaning episode 1, the gap between that and episode 2 is like what, 15 to 16 years, and then the gap between that and between the Clone Wars and Revenge of the Sith is like 7 years of literal warfare that you don't see. There's like Obi-Wan and Anakin are supposed to be best friends, and you're like, all right, I guess they're best friends now. But like you see all of that development, all of the struggles, all of the moments where they're like, they had each other's backs, they sort of went against each other. Like all of that context is in a 7-season show. And you're like, oh, now I get why this is so important in episode 3.
Absolutely. And you get to realistically see the downfall, or at least the signs of Anakin becoming Darth Vader. And because in the movies, it's so quick and he just seems very manic in the movies, but in the show, it's so different, because in the movies, he's just like being crazy. They're like, oh yeah, I did this and that and the third, and he's just very on 10 all the time. While in the show, he's more calm and it's more scary. Like he'll kill someone and he'll just be like, and Obi-Wan's be like, hey man, what the heck? And he was just like, hey, relax. He was about to threaten these people, and I just think the decision was to end his life. And you're just like, whoa, red flag. Number 1. But I just like that kind of stuff. You see like how Jose was saying, you see the relationship between Obi-Wan and Anakin. You can really see them as best friends. They have these funny moments. They have all these great moments together. And they expand on both of their characters. Almost every character in the show is well developed. Anakin, Obi-Wan Hell, Darth Maul, a character who only had like only 2 lines, kind of like Boba Fett, only had 2 lines, was just there for the looks and all that kind of stuff, and then just disappeared. Man was amazing. He's honestly one of the best characters in just Star Wars fiction just in television shows. They developed him so well, and it could have been a
favorite character in the Clone Wars besides
Ahsoka. He is literally. Originally, I liked Boba because of the way he looked, but after that, I didn't really care for him after that. But because of how they fleshed him out in the shows, he's one of the best written characters in the entire, I'll say, franchise. But yeah, they do so well. So yeah, I would definitely say and it's very, I'll say, in there are times where it gets dark, which I thought it was pretty cool too. That the story the show is willing to do more than the actual movies would. Yeah. So yeah, definitely say that, give the show a chance. The show is worth it, if anything, as well.
I definitely want to. I think if anything, I was slow to get into it because, as all big franchises have, I was afraid of fandom. I was afraid of
that is valid.
Lot of the things,
that is valid. I'm not gonna lie.
But I mean, as people who watch anime, we hear that all the time. Like, people don't want to watch JoJo's because of the fandom and issues or whatever. So I was afraid of doing it because of the fandom, but I've always been fascinated with it because, similar to you, I'm really, Jose, that I really love lore. And Star Wars is just chock filled with lore, and I'm here about it. And as a kid, Cartoon Network used to have these very short snippets of animated, of animated Star Wars. And I used to want to watch Star Wars just off that because I'm like, yo, the fight choreography, the lightsabers, this is nuts. So I would love to watch it. I'm definitely going to. I'll give you guys my thoughts on this journey.
For sure. Hey,
absolutely, you should do that. And I don't believe with the fandom thing. It's bad when, let's be honest, it's bad when the Star Wars fandom is kind of like the blueprint of a toxic fandom. When of course, we're looking at it from an anime perspective, like, oh, we got Naruto, we got
Dragon Ball Z.
Exactly, Dragon Ball Z. Those are pretty toxic. And as a person who likes to encompass not just anime and pop culture, when someone says like, oh yeah, Dragon Ball Z is one of the toxic fandoms ever, or My Hero, I'm like, you said whatever? I said no. It's Star Wars,
bro. Star Wars or the MCU. Like, the MCU is starting to get there.
Exactly. MCU is getting there, and it's sad a little bit with that one. But Star Wars has been toxic before there was even the internet. That's how bad it was. Like, before the internet even existed, Star Wars was pretty toxic.
Yeah. Star Wars, dude. Remember, Star Wars came, like, Star Wars essentially, movie-wise, right, is like the birth of big pop culture.
Wow.
Because if you think about it, like, and this is like a good lesson in movie history. We might use this as a promo for the episode, but the birth of movie blockbusters is Jaws, right? So the first big modern blockbuster was Jaws, that came out a couple of years before, I think, or are close to the release of A New Hope, right? Which wasn't even called A New Hope. It was just called Star Wars. George Lucas literally did not expect the movie to be great. He knew the idea was amazing, and he had the lore all built out. He had the first 3 movies written out, but it was so long that he had to get the first one to stick, right? The first Star Wars movie was so impactful that it literally started pop culture in terms of movies. That's how important Star Wars is, because like it was literally the Beatles music wise up until the 70s, like and obviously you had other bands and whatever, but movie wise, the big first summer blockbuster was Jaws. So like, you didn't have those events like until Star Wars came along, and then you had Indiana Jones, you had all of these other franchises, Star Trek, you had all of these other franchises follow the blueprint to what you could have as a major cinematic franchise. And I believe the original theatrical run for Star Wars was hella long. Like, it was more than, I think, 3, 4, 5 months, like in the theaters, just like sold out. Dude, there's people that saw A New Hope in theaters more than 27 times. I don't know who has the world record, because like I think they took a world record of who saw it more times. But like, people went to it was like, oh yeah, let's go watch Star Wars again, bro. That was so good. Imagine that level of pop culture influence, and then in the span of 6 years, you get like the biggest movie trilogy at the point to ever exist. Because I mean, there were like 20 years, 30 years before the Lord of the Rings happened. That this movie, this franchise means so much, and it'll essentially live on forever because of what you said. Like the lore, the story's good, it connects with multiple generations and stuff like that. But that also comes with a lot of toxic gatekeepers, bro. And that's another conversation that I think we should have in another pod, like the concept of gatekeeping anime, movies,
Oh yes,
video games.
definitely.
Yeah.
Because people are gatekeeping a lot these days. And like it honestly makes no sense because like if you're gatekeeping Star Wars, oh yeah, I would love to see how you saw the first Star Wars movie when it was in 1973. Because like I don't think your dad is probably the only one in your family who could gatekeep that shit. So it's really interesting to discuss the topic of gatekeeping. But yeah, I think I think I speak for both Misu and myself that we would love to see your perspective as a new watcher of Star Wars and your
Absolutely
opinions on it.
You know, and I don't know how much time we have, but just really fast, it's kind of the same way I feel about One Piece, where I feel like I'm stepping into something that has there's so much volume to it, you know, and there's so much legacy with this. And it feels almost overwhelming to try and start from that point where, you know, the first movie to start off pop culture, like watch that, like it's a lot. So I'm a little anxious about it, but I'm definitely excited.
Dude, hey, it's an amazing journey. I would just say leave your opinions to yourself until you finish the last one because like if you start saying stuff and people are actually like don't hold yourself back because these are the good feelings, right? These are the good when you're watching something for the first time, it feels good. I would just say some people might not like it that much because people are
there's a certain demographic of people who are going to be upset by anything, and honestly don't give it too much mind because they're going to be upset about anything. Like, for example, some people are probably mad at me right now because I said Darth Maul is the best character in Star Wars or anything of that nature. Or Star Wars The Clone Wars is good. Or anybody just find ways to be upset at stuff.
Fair. That's fair. All right. So, speaking of amazing questions, I think it's time that we start to wrap things up. And I think one of the best ways to start wrapping things up is with our question of the week. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with the Stack 'em Up. We have a question as asked by one of you amazing people that I think is really going to be a really cool conversation. The question is...
but before we get started, we got to explain Stack 'em Up to Travis.
Oh, yes. Okay. So I think...
Please do.
I don't think we did Stack 'em Up the time.
Oh, we did last time, but just a refresher.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Stack 'em Up is a segment on the show where essentially we take a question from the audience and we discuss it, right? And the idea, right, is to kind of be like a competition where you give your points and then we let the audience decide who had the better point, right? Who won the discussion? But like it's not like us trying to beat each other. You put your point out there, and the fans decide who like was more convincing. I would say.
Oh, great! Awesome!
It's not like us trying to beat each other. It's more like who does the audience resonate with in terms of the arguments that they provide. And for example, last time we were just about to end the first season of Stack 'em Up. I think going up to 10 might be a little bit much, Mizu. So we might want to go like every season be like 3 or 5 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's a lot. So like we're trying to do like the first one to get 3 or the first one to get 5 wins from the 3 of us, for example, would get like a prize or would have to do like or get something from the audience, right? Would take a challenge from the audience or something like that. And I think we have some more ideas for like the rewards, I would say, moving forward. But that's the basic structure. Are you down?
Oh, absolutely. Perfect. Let's do this.
So the main question for this week was, who do you think was a more relatable main character? Asta, Eren, Tanjiro, or Deku?
What a good question.
And I think I think we could. I'll do a randomizer because this is our first time doing the stack 'em up, all three of us together. So I'll do a randomizer this time.
I have my pick, but I doubt people are gonna agree with me.
Okay, bet. So let's do it. Okay, so we got Travis, Set, and then Mizu. Okay, the randomizer.
Interesting.
So essentially, whoever wins the stack 'em up poll gets to go first the next week. Does that make sense? So
Okay.
like, for example, for the next week, if we say, "Oh, what's the best anime ever?" If I win, I could choose Full Metal or choose like Bleach or choose whatever. Like you get the first pick of the litter for the next week. Does that make sense? That's usually the bragging rights for winning the stack 'em up. So 3, 2, 1, randomized. Okay, so Travis is going first. I'm going second. And Misa's going third. Sad.
Wow.
I'm still working on. Hey, first of all, I'm still gonna work up the semantics about these rules because
For sure.
to make it fair, because it's a winner takes all kind of thing. I'm not a big fan of capitalism like that.
I'm not a big fan of capitalism either. Damn,
Please,
Travis is going first. Okay, bet.
So repeat the question one more time for me.
Who do you think was a more relatable MC? Asta, Eren, Tanjiro, or Deku?
Oh my God, that is so tough.
Because it's not who's the better,
right? Who's just the most relatable? Who's the most?
I would add a fifth one. I would add a fifth one because honestly, if you don't get let's add Ed. So let's add Edward Eldrick.
Edward Eldrick.
Yeah, because I think for this discussion, it makes sense for the relatable part. So I would say Ed, Asta, Eren, Tanjiro, or Deku, and that way we have some breathing room for the for all three of us, right? So we have more options.
I have one, but I just feel like now it's gonna go against me.
Yeah. Oh my God. Wow. This is such a great. I feel caught off guard. If I had to pick one for the most relatable, I think I just have to go with.
Don't take mine. Don't take mine.
I think I'd probably have to go.
I got my pick. I'm like, please don't take my pick.
I know. I'm going third. I'm the one most worried.
But you have so much time to think, me too. This is
True,
such a.
I do.
You have so much time to think.
True.
And they're all so relatable. Honestly, they really are. You can in different ways. You could really make an argument pretty much for any of them. out of all of them, I'd probably go with Edward Elric. I go with Ed.
Okay, you go with Edward. What do you think makes him so relatable?
Edward wasn't particularly the strongest person. He was just, I think the biggest thing about Ed is that he was persistent, extremely persistent. And I feel as though he was not only going against, I mean, first of all, he was very short. He was shorter than everyone around him. He had that going against him. And I feel like the insecurity that he had in his height, it's understandable. That's a very real thing. I also feel like that added a level of vulnerability that is different than any of the other MCs. Mm-hmm. Like, none of them were really insecure about their physicality to a degree in the way that Ed was. I feel like Ed also going against the government in order for him to achieve his goals. I feel like that's also a different element that the other MCs didn't have to go through. And that as adults, that we kind of feel like, hey, the government works against us in a lot of different ways. I felt relatable to that. The idea of how the military are dogs and for the government. And there were so many elements where it came to how the country is run that is a part of Ed's character that made him more relatable to me than than the other MCs. So that's my answer.
Damn. That's tough. And
I know, right?
I added Ed. Oh, Jesus. Okay, Ed, the thing is, Ed. Okay, Ed makes sense. I think I think I mentioned this on one of the episodes. I am more in the camp that I like. Damn. I like Alphonse a little bit more than I like Edward. Just
Fair.
as a character, and I made that clear in one of the pods. And people were like super mad at me, but I'm like, bro, that's just like your taste on things. I feel like Ed definitely has the characteristics of a hero, for sure, and his struggles, and I think the thing that sets him apart is his sense of guilt, right? That sense of guilt that like he has to be better, the better man. He has to become better because of like what happened with his mother, what happened with his brother. Like that guilt that he feels kind of elevates him to be better every time. So I definitely see it. But leading that to my pick is Deku. My pick
God
is Deku.
damn it!
That was a good one. That's a good one.
No,
That was a good one.
Yeah, I
That
knew.
was a good
I
one.
knew. I mean, I saw the shirt, Mizu, and I was like, damn.
Oh no, this is from Haikyuu. Obi
Oh
Joseph.
no. I just saw the colors, and I was like, ooh, he's not gonna like this. He's not gonna like this. But my pick is Deku, and I think Deku kind of follows a similar style of that hero's journey that Ed does, but I think his is more rooted in like obstacle, like going from obstacle to obstacle, going from like that feeling that like I'm not worthy to getting validated by your mentor to sacrifice. Like that's the big thing. Like his thing is that to become a hero, I have to be willing to lay everything out on the line to save whoever I'm trying to save, from the lowest of the lows in terms of like importance, just like a civilian, to Endeavor or All Might. I have to be willing to risk it all at every moment in order to be called a hero, because that's what heroes do, right? So that's why I think Deku is a little bit more relatable. I also get really emotional, like and Mizu knows this, because like as I was watching My Hero and they were discussing like season 5, I literally binged like the first 4.5 seasons like super quickly. I'm still in season 5, but that feeling of the imposter syndrome that Deku gets, of like not feeling like he belongs there, and absolutely like having to use his brain and powers to try to get over the hump to where, for example, Bakugo can just be super talented, and or for example, oh my god, I always so we get the that moment. I'm talking what was the first fight that they had? It's the first in the stadium.
Oh, you're talking about the sports festival?
Yeah, the sports festival. The sports festival kind of sold it to me that Deku is willing to kind of do anything to be the better man, because like when he's at that moment that he like literally has to tell Todoroki that like, look, screw your dad, like it's you, right? It's your power, you have to own it, and I'm not gonna like let you. I'm not gonna let you. I would literally be willing to kind of destroy myself to make you feel that support that you need, because I know that is what I needed to become a hero. Does that make sense? Like that feeling of not feeling accepted until you prove yourself is something that I relate to very deeply. So like every time that I was watching the episodes, I would tell Mizu, bro, Deku makes me cry every other episode. And I know that people tell him say he's a crybaby, but I'm like, bro, he's gone through so much. He's gone through so much that I just can't help but clap every time that he like has a new form, bigger percentages for for All for One, or One for All. I am dead set on Deku being one of the top 3 MCs of this generation. So yeah, I'm picking Deku.
Wow. What an answer.
What a great answer, right, Mizu?
That was a fantastic answer there, Jose.
You still have 3 options, though.
I
You're
do.
great.
And you know what? I feel like being controversial today. And I'm going to pick the man himself that is on everybody's mind. And that is Mr. Aaron Yeager.
Yep.
It's going to be... now, I know what you're thinking. How on earth is this man relatable to us? Here's the thing. Jose brings up a good point with Deku. We get to see Deku go through so much. But you know who's also been through a lot similar to both Deku and Edward Elric?
Yep.
Aaron. Think about it. This man was a kid when he saw, first of all, his own mother die in front of him by a monster, Titans. And then, and of course, he developed this hatred of these creatures that he did not understand. And he wanted to do the betterment to protect his friends and loved ones. And we all can relate to, even though his methods are questionable, we all can relate to protecting who we love. And it makes you bear the question of how far would you go to protect the ones you love? Your wife, your siblings, your spouse, you name it. How far would you go to do that? How far would you save, or even a bigger picture, how far would you save your people? And I like how we get to see, and the cool thing with Aaron is that we not only get to see him when he's angry, we get to see him when he's scared, we get to see him when he is going through all these great emotions of this situation that is so messed up, and he's trying to navigate through it the best he can. Like I said, he lost his mother, then he lost his father, then he finds out how he lost his father. And at some point, and the cool thing is, just like someone as a Deku, like he breaks down. He's just like, I can't do this, I'm overwhelmed, until he had that moment with Historia, and something clicked within him. He's just like, you know what, I can't be like this anymore. There are people out here trying to destroy us. There are people out here trying to kill us. And they show no signs of remorse. So I got to do what's best for myself, for my friends, and for my people. And if I have to go down this dark path in order to do that, then so be it. And he is willing to cut corners. He's willing to do things that are questionable for the way he thinks. So, and here's the thing, and some people are just like, oh, I don't get it. But here's the thing, you say that because you're not in that situation. Mm-hmm. It's easy for us as bystanders to be like, oh yeah, I wouldn't do that. But are you sure? If we were in a zombie apocalypse or something of that nature, what would you do? So I would say that Aaron Yeager is one of those very complex characters that, in like in certain ways, he has moments where you can relate to him in certain ways, where you can relate to him in the scare factor. You're in a world where there's giant titans that are eating people, and you have no idea what's going on. You can relate to him with the fact of, with his compassion with his friends and what's going on with them, because he wants to see, because all his life he's seen people die, so he wants to hang on to the friends that he has. Armin, we saw how hard he was to go back for Armin, Mikasa, everybody. So I think that's pretty cool that we get different parts of Aaron. You can see a part of yourself within him, even if you don't agree with him. And don't get it twisted. This is coming from a former, I won't deny it, I said it before on the podcast. This is coming from a former Jaegerist. I won't deny it. I'm not gonna sit here. Granted, because I had a different mindset of what he was doing. Now I know what happens, but I get it to a point. So Aaron Yeager is my choice.
Okay.
These are three big hits. and the thing is, they all have some really, I wouldn't say toxic, but really fervent fandoms, I would say. So I'm excited to see what the audience has to say to that. But again, if you ever want to vote, for those of you that are listening, just go to my Instagram. I'll put up the poll as soon as this episode is out, and you will be able to vote for your favorite argument. And again, the question was, who do you think is the most relatable anime MC from the selection that we had, which was Edward Elric, Deku, and Aaron Yeager. So we will definitely leave it up to you. But that is definitely a tough question to answer, and it's up to you to decide the winner. Gentlemen, do you guys have any other major points you wanted to touch, or do you want to go through a speed round?
Let's hit that speed round.
All right, bet. So, Travis, we have another segment that we can keep it. It's a buy or sell. So we go through like the big news that came through this week.
Okay.
And essentially say, do we buy or do we sell? Like, are we hyped for it or are we not? The first one I think is one of the most important ones. Batman has come out with an official rating and runtime. It is still PG-13, but it is 2 hours and 55 minutes long. So it is the longest Batman movie ever. Are you from what you've seen in the trailer and from what you've seen so far? Are you buying on selling on the Batman?
PG-13 hurts, but I'll still do buy. I'll do buy.
I'm still gonna buy, but I just hope it's not 2 hours and 50 minutes of garbaggio. Because if it is, I'm gonna be like, this is almost 3 hours.
Yeah, bro.
I hope it's worth it, but I'm still gonna buy.
Okay, bet. I'm a solid buy. Batman is my favorite DC character. DC hero, I would say. The idea of having a 3-hour PG-13 movie kind of sucks. I wanted the R rating. I'm not gonna lie to you. I wanted the R rating. I know people say so that's another thing that we can discuss later. So like there's a big disconnect, at least in the United States or the West in general, of like the difference between what is considered acceptable or taboo when it comes to like extreme violence and then mild sexuality, especially with Batman, because like I mean with Batman, lots of things have happened with like Nightwing, the thing with the comics where they had to censor one of the comics because one of the writers decided to actually depict Batman's genitalia. Like they had to censor the comics because like it's ludicrous to show that on the page. I'm like, bro, the fuck. But yeah, I wanted the R rating because Batman's psyche and Batman's mental state, at least in this movie, deserved that R rating. That's just gonna be my pick. I'm still buying, but that's all I gotta say. Do you guys have anything left to say with Batman?
Yes. Quick question: was Batman Under the Red Hood rated R or PG-13?
I will check that right now.
Because depending on that, if to my knowledge, I think it was PG-13, but I'm probably misremembering. It came out a while ago.
Here's the thing about the rated R thing. It's really semantics with it, because sometimes you can literally be rated R just because you said the F word twice in a movie.
Mm-hmm. True, but then again, it's like, yeah, you're right. It definitely is. I just feel like I feel a safety with knowing that it's R. Yeah. I think that when it's,
Yeah. No, I was just gonna say I feel safety too. Yeah, it's PG-13. PG-13.
On Batman Under the Red Hood was PG-13.
Yeah.
Oh, then I'm full buying because the way that they pulled that off, Batman Under the Red Hood, that's one of my favorite animated movies of all time. There were so many dark themes. There was great violence in it. I'm fine with PG-13.
Okay, bet. Yeah, and it makes sense. I mean, and just as a small tidbit of info, that's how they actually got the animated series. The Batman the Animated Series came to air, like in its state of like being dark, but like appropriate for kids, but also tackling mature themes, because they toned down the violence in terms of making it more acceptable. So if whenever you look at Batman the Animated Series, any scenes, you will never see a handgun. All they have is Tommy guns.
Wow.
Because they would say that Tommy guns are easier to just like forget that it's even a gun. It's just like they're just spraying Nerf guns instead of like handguns. Especially for the 90s were a crazy time, bro. The 90s were
clearly.
Hey, I don't blame them. It's better logic than what the X-Men show did. You can think about it. There's no guns in that either. Everybody has a laser beam gun or something like. So, are we in the future or something? Like, how did that happen?
It's absolutely crazy. But Batman the Animated Series was great, and I hope that Batman is also good. The second buy or sell We have a lot of casting rumors and cameo rumors for Spider-Man. For Spider-Man No Way Home. For Multiverse of Madness. I'm gonna name them off, and you guys tell me if you want to see them or not. Magneto. Fassbender's Magneto.
Buy. 100%.
I want to buy it. It just all depends on the context of why he's there.
Bet.
Interesting.
I agree. I would say half buy, because if they're trying to go for, I love Fassbender, but if they're trying to go for the route of like the estranged father that she never met, and that's what sends her over the edge to become like a villain, I don't want it that way. Like if they're gonna do the Magneto story and with Wanda correctly, just make it its own story. Just don't do it like, oh, this version of my dad came through the multiverse. Kind of like boop. So I don't want that. But so I will say half buy. Okay, so we got Magneto. John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic.
Buy. Absolute buy.
Bought, sold, 100%.
Big buy from my part. I've been trying to fan cast this dude forever. Big buy. The fact that it's actually like a rumor with traction was crazy. There's a chance that he shows up. I don't know if his wife is going to show up, but if John shows up, I will be happy.
Yeah, 100%.
Speaking of a-holes within the Marvel universe, Tom Cruise as an Iron Man variant.
Sell.
See, I can see it.
Really?
I can see him being the variant, but do I want it? I don't know if I want it though. It'll be a cool little thing on the side or something. Maybe I just can't see it being in the movie like that. So I'm gonna also say sell.
Okay, we gotta sell this time. I'm buying, bro.
Really?
I'm buying. So for a lot of people don't remember this, but Tom Cruise was originally supposed to play Iron Man in 2008.
Oh, yeah, sure, I heard about that.
He was offered the role, and he said, "I don't feel like I'm gonna like go full out in this project, and I'm just gonna pass." And we got the best casting decision.
Thank goodness.
To you,
right?
Because we got Robert Downey Jr. So he like the fact that he was originally meant to play the role, or you could say. I think this is a great opportunity to show that darker side of Tony Stark, because like everybody loves Tony because of Robert Downey Jr. But I think Jay Stubes has said it best. Like if like Tony Stark is a misogynistic a-hole in the comics.
That's an understatement. See, and that's a good point. She makes a good point that everybody loves MCU Iron Man.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't like comic book Iron Man at all. Like, yeah, he's a misogynistic playboy, totalitarian, if you want to think about it. This man is off the rocker. Yeah, he's an Avenger, but like sometimes getting the favor, let's just say in the comics, getting the favor of Iron Man in the comics is not good.
Let's put it this way. People were thinking that Spider-Man was going to be the next Iron Man and Iron Boy Jr. In the comics, Peter Parker wouldn't bat an eye between socking Iron Man in the face, and he's done it before for some petty shit that he said. Dude.
Yeah, because in the comics, I believe, Iron Man's at some point betrayed Spider-Man in some way or form. So it's like it's just not good. So yeah, like y'all like MCU Iron Man. You don't like comic.
Hey, and the same thing with Reeds. Like, I mean, Mr. Fantastic is also a god complex major D-hole. So yes.
He used to be one of my favorite. He was my favorite Fantastic Four member until I got older and then heard about all the comic book strands about him. I'm just like, yo, what is up with all the geniuses being so weird and freaking out of? I get that you're smart, but it doesn't mean you have to go down this path all the time. Good Lord.
The other one, recasting T'Challa. They're thinking about recasting T'Challa.
So I'm not gonna lie to you. In the past, if you asked me around the time that happened, I would have said sell. But seeing what's going on, especially in production-wise of Black Panther 2: Wakanda Forever, it just seems like it has to happen. Also because like T'Challa as a character is very important, and he's one of my favorite characters growing up. And to see him not in the series at all, especially after you could say technically, was it 4 movies?
Yeah.
His own movie and little cameos here or there. To me, it just doesn't sit right because he's such a pivotal character both in the comics and he could have been one in the MCU, and he actually was projected to be. So at this point, I think we should recast him because he is an important character to have, and it just feels awkward without him there because especially going off the story wise, it doesn't make sense for Shuri to be Black Panther yet. Not because that because she's one in the MCU, she's too young. She's still inexperienced in that regard. So it's not like the comic book Shuri. Now, if she was comic book accurate, I wouldn't be questioning anything because comic book Shuri is freaking insane and amazing.
Does not play.
And does not play at all. But she's not on that level. And plus, of course, the controversy behind the actress playing Shuri, Letitia Wright, that whole thing is interesting. And then we've been hearing some news that the actor who plays M'Baku, Winston Duke, that's his name.
Yeah.
There's been speculation that he's getting a big pay raise because I guess they're expanding his role in Wakanda Forever. And some people are speculating that he might be Black Panther, or the other fan theory said they're going to bring back Killmonger and he becomes Black Panther and things like that. So it's just like all that is interesting, but it's like it's very convoluted. We might as well just recast it. So to me, I would say bye. I definitely think we should recast T'Challa.
What do you think, Travis?
To me, and look, I think it's selfish of me to say this, especially from how eloquently you laid out your points, me too. You're 100% right. T'Challa is an important character in the MCU. He's an important character in comics. There's just that very selfish part of me that I just don't, kind of like Kobe's jersey. I just don't want anybody don't touch this number. Like,
very true.
It's a very you logically, it makes perfect sense. A very selfish, emotional part of me wants them to just pass the mantle off. I would love the variant idea. If we got a variant of T'Challa to come and be this Black Panther, or there was some, like, they had a clip of Black Panther like switching with another world or something. Like, I would love to see that instead of them just say, hey, this is T'Challa now. I'm like, that feels worse. There's just something so awful about that. So I'd have to go with Sal.
I would say, it's just that I'm so conflicted because I want T'Challa. Like, T'Challa is a really important, bro. T'Challa's he's a pivotal character, not just for like his impact sociopolitically, but like just in the terms of the comics and the impact that he can have on the big screen. It, like, I'm not gonna lie to you. If Chadwick Boseman was alive and he were to complete, let's say, a trilogy of Black Panther movies, that would be the best trilogy in Marvel. Like, it would compete with Captain America and Spider-Man No Way Home for the best solo trilogy, because like they started off so well with Black Panther 1, and everything we've seen from Wakanda in every movie is banger after banger after banger after banger. Like, every single thing, like we love that universe. We love that exploration of the richest man in the multiverse being like from Africa. In a country that has a different culture, that's way more advanced than everybody else, that still keeps its roots. T'Challa's so important that I would love for him to be recast, but I don't know if I want it to be like a variant, because like the easiest solution is just say, okay, Michael B. Jordan in a what if universe, right? He's technically old. He's one, older than T'Challa, and second, if he would have stayed in Wakanda, he would have been the Black Panther. Like, by birthright, he is the Black Panther. So that's the easiest solution. Just bring Michael B. Jordan. And I mean, I'm not gonna say no to Michael B. Jordan, but but at the same time, I would say I have to buy on recasting. We have to get T'Challa and Storm. We have to get T'Challa in the Midnight Sun, but like fighting with there's so much. I would say buy. Are you guys okay with that? perfect.
Yeah, it's difficult because every time I even just say Black Panther, I also instantly, of course, associate with Chadwick Boseman. So it's just like then when you do that, you're just like I saw a video the other day of him and another actor just talking about different language or different like slang, because she's like from South Africa and he is from South Carolina, and I'm just like, dang, because it just feels so weird because just like you're looking at it like this man is passed, and it's crazy, but yeah, it does pain me to say, but I'm also because I'm saying that as both a fan of the actor himself and also as a fan of the character T'Challa, because it hurts so bad with me, because like I love it. I've been watching Chadwick Boseman since the Jackie Robinson movie, 42, and then I've been watching Black Panther since I was a kid when he first showed up in that Fantastic Four show back in the 90s, and he was just in that one episode. I was entrenched by him, so yeah, it just hurts. So
and I just feel like, and another reason why I'm not, I have to sell on the idea, it's because Chadwick Boseman, the kind of weight that was on him to make this character work. There were so many people before Black Panther came out that were ruling it out, and essentially Black actors, there were none really in like the MCU at that point. And seeing a Black hero do a solo movie was a concept that a lot of people were doubting at that time. And for him to have killed it the way he did, it was just way more than just a role. He was a moment. Him as T'Challa was a moment. And people were going to the movie theater in dashikis. Like Wakanda Forever, like people were doing that was
the NBA,
that was because
bro,
everywhere. Like there was even I saw Michael B. Jordan even talk about like people were saying Wakanda Forever to him. He was like, "Come on, man! Like I'm on an airplane." But the thing is, I feel like that happened because he was in that role. So it was. I feel like in order for us to, if they were to recast him, we'd have to have someone with that kind of weight culturally to fill the void. And I'm like, who could do it?
True.
Who could replace Chadwick Boseman? I don't have an answer for it. So that's why I'm like, I'd rather just do a variant.
I would say the only two people that I have is Denzel Washington's son, who played the lead in Tenet, for example.
Interesting.
Or Michael B. Jordan. That's the only two people that I see.
Yeah.
With the right age and charisma / acting chops to take what he did and just like run with it. Those are the only two people that I see. At least right now. I would have said Mahershala Ali, but my boy's Blade, so I'll take Mahershala Ali.
Hey, Mahershala Ali is fantastic. Like I love how he got cast as Blade, because as soon as he put, I don't know what movie it was, as soon as he put sunglasses on, I was going, that iconic scene with Leonardo DiCaprio was just sitting here like doing this. I was like, wait, I was telling to my wife, I was just like, yo, he could be Blade. He could be Blade. In a real world, he could be Blade. Literally 2 years later, man announced being Blade. I was like, I must be in a dream. I must have died or something, because this is insane.
And it looks like if there was ever a perfect recasting, it's that Mahershala Ali fit into the role of Blade visually so well, and he's such a strong actor. We have so many great roles that he's done. I mean, from House of Cards to that new movie that he was in, like I think it's on
Green Book?
No, it's Swan Song. Did you guys see Swan Song?
Okay.
Swan Song.
I think the only stuff I've seen, I haven't seen that one yet. The only the stuff I've seen with Mahershala Ali was of course like Luke Cage, Moonlight. Yeah. Moonlight.
Green Book, yeah, all the
Green Book. 2040, Blade Runner 2049. Yeah. And stuff like that, but I haven't seen that one yet.
He's goated.
Yeah, he's goated. So that's good. But when it comes to T'Challa, I mean, Jose, you gave a couple of great ones. I feel like even when you said Denzel Washington's son, I love him. Like I love the roles that he's been in, right? Like especially that movie with him and Zendaya. I feel like he's fantastic, really good. But then I imagined him in the suit, and I'm like, T'Challa, no. So I don't know.
Yeah, and that's this is gonna be my last piece on it. And that's another thing. Let's say they do recast. This is a good point. And the possible backlash that actor might get because some people are just like, oh, it's not Chadwick Boseman, you can't replace him, and he might get all this unnecessary hate because he's not Chadwick. So yeah, that's a possibility that could happen.
Fair. We'll take that. The other ones were Blade, because like there's also rumors that Blade is also gonna show up as a cameo. I don't know which Blade, but there's rumors that it's between. That it's not set in stone that it's gonna be Mahershala. There's rumors that it could be Wesley, and I'm like
Wesley. I've been hearing that they've been trying to put Wesley in the Blade franchise, or at least in the new one. So here's the thing: the
Morbius movie.
So originally, I thought that because they said that they want to put him in the Blade movie with Mahershala Ali, and I was speculating that he was going to be the mentor figure that taught Blade everything he knows. And but it seems like it's a different actor. I don't know his name at the top of my head. Have y'all seen what's it? It's a recent movie with Jonathan Majors in it. It's like a cowboy film. It's on Netflix.
Harder They Fall.
The Harder They Fall.
Yes.
So in The Harder They Fall, you know the guy who plays Bass Reeves, the sheriff?
Yeah.
So he's going to be in it. And people are speculating he's going to be Blade's mentor figure. But I think it would just be cool if Wesley just showed up, and even if it was just a cameo, he could just be the guy on the street. Like the fact that Wesley starts in there like, hey, look at that. OG Blade. He's like, new Chan Blade.
Yeah.
I remember him. Yeah, it'd be like that.
We can have the Stan Lee moment.
Oh, dude, I would love that. Let's do a speed round through the last ones. Tobey Maguire Spider-Man coming back. So Sam Raimi.
Bye.
Depending on what they do with him, bye.
Okay, bye. Same. Unless Wanda kills him. If not, sell. The X-Men. So Professor X, James McAvoy, and then Sophie Turner as Jean Grey.
Bye. Purchased. Bye. Yep.
I'm very soft buying. I'm soft buying. I'm soft buying. How about you, Mizu? I'm soft buying. We can go that into
James McAvoy is Professor X. I'm buying on that. But here's my thing: did we have to bring back everybody from the X-Men franchise? I don't know. I don't get me wrong. I like Sophie, but I to me she doesn't really. She's not really Jean Grey to me.
Okay. Fair.
So I feel like a different actress should be Jean Grey, but she's still fantastic. I love her work, but like I can't see her as Jean Grey. So it's kind of a soft buy for me as well.
All right. And then the last two. What's it called? Deadpool in a post-credit scene. There's rumors that he's showing up.
Oh, bye. Like I always made the argument before that Deadpool can be the new Stan Lee of the MCU.
Yeah.
That would be hilarious. That'd actually be hilarious. Oh man.
I'm buying.
I don't. It would be funny. I just feel like it would add a level of levity. I want the MCU to go in a dark direction. I feel like just seeing him would be an instant injection of comedy to everything. So I'm like, I'll sell that. I'll sell on that.
Bet. And then the last one is the big one, which is that there could be a reference to Galactus. Do you think we should buy it yet or not?
Buy.
I'm definitely going to buy it. We've been waiting for this moment. It's him and Dr. Doom. I just want them to get right.
Oh, dude, as soon as they get Dr. Doom, oh yes, I'm buying on Galactus. I'm buying on Galactus.
I'll buy it too.
I'm buying on Galactus. TBH, I want the Midnight Suns to come together already, so I just want it all.
Yes.
I just want it all, man. I want. We're getting Moon Knight. We're getting Blade. All we need is the Ghost Rider and the Punisher, bro. Let's go. That's gonna be lit. All right. Unless you guys have any more news, you guys good?
Yes,
I'm
sir.
good.
Alrighty, that is everything that we have for you guys today on the Weeb Weekly. We made it to almost 2 hours, so I would say props to us on our very first episode with our Mr. Travis. We'll be putting this on YouTube. A little bit of a delay on the audio section, but we'll get that sorted out in the coming weeks. But essentially, I have been your boy Tropical Joe. You can find me on TikTok and Instagram as I'm Tropical Joe, at I'm Tropical Joe. On the Instagram stories is where you will be able to find the polls to vote for this week's Stack 'em Up. The question was, who is the most relatable anime MC? And we chose Edward Elric, Deku from My Hero Academia, and then we chose Eren Yeager from Attack on Titan. Those are the 3 options, and you can vote for those on my stories. And again, I'm streaming on YouTube again. I had my second biggest stream ever yesterday, so that was amazing. That felt really good to go back in the saddle. And I'm coming at it again to play some Fortnite tomorrow, trying to get the Spider-Man skin. You know, that's exactly what we're trying to do. Hey, our boy Spider-Man is always in the way. Mr. Mizu, where can they find you?
You guys can find me on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, all the same name, Mizu Shogun. If you're watching this from YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can get more of our videos.
Big plug,
Quick
baby.
little plug right there.
Travis, my boy, first timer. Let the people know where they can find you.
Yes, sir. My name is Travis the Sibling on TikTok and on IG. Please follow me there. And even on Twitch, you can follow me on Trav the Sibling. So I hope I see you guys there.
Amen to that. As always, this has been the Weeb Weekly. We will see you on the next one. Blow!